Hi, I'm Doug MacArthur, and I'm honored to present a TAC award in my name. It's the TAC Lifetime Achievement Award, and it goes to someone who demonstrates their love of sports over and over again, year after year. I've had a lifetime of sports, and I truly appreciate it when I see others who are recognized for their love of the games. Sports have always been a big part of my life. I played, I coached, I umpired. Best of all, every job I ever had something to do with sports. My first was that as sports director of KTAC Radio, and it was sports morning, noon, and night. Then I became supervisor of athletics for Metro Parks and Tacoma Schools. After that, director of athletics at UPS for 13 years and 13 more with the Tacoma Athletic Commission. You probably have guessed by now, but sports have been very good to me, and I'm grateful and appreciative. My lifetime has been a ball. I hope this achievement award inspires someone else to be involved for a lifetime of their own in sports, and more sports.
The Tacoma Athletic Commission instituted the Amateur Athlete of the Year Award in 1987. I'm Dick Hanula and was so honored by TAC to have the award named after me. In recognizing the best amateur athletes of Tacoma Pierce County, it also is recognizing and encouraging all amateur athletes in our area. Amateur athletes train and compete for the best of reasons: the love of the sport and the love of competition. I coached thousands of athletes in the sport of swimming over my lifetime. These athletes sacrificed a great amount of time and effort to succeed, and that effort was both physical and mental. Sports represent a great arena to test and prepare for life's challenges, the ability to adjust to both the winning and the losing. Success and failures are arguably best learned in athletics. Failure is essential in the learning process, and I believe amateur athletics present the greatest opportunities for these life lessons. Congratulations to all Tacoma Pierce County athletes, and a special congratulations to this year's winners.
The commitment by the Tacoma Athletic Commission and the Sheneman Sports Museum to honor individuals by recognizing their athletic achievements continues tonight with our induction of 16 individuals in the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Hall of Fame, which was established in 1957. So sit back and enjoy a trip down memory lane as we revisit the careers of these outstanding individuals that covers the spectrum of all aspects of sports.
All my bags are packed, I'm ready to go.
That song epitomizes our first honoree, who is appropriately in the leadoff spot, baseball player Tony Barron. A Spanaway Lake High School grad, in 17 years, Tony played in 21 cities and 5 countries. He was a man on the move. Great Falls, Bakersfield, Salem, Vero Beach, San Antonio, Calgary, Ottawa, Mexico City, Cancun, and a 9-game stopover with the Tacoma Rainiers in 1995. But his resilience and passion paid off with a 57-game stint in the outfield with the Philadelphia Phillies in 1997. 2 things about Barron to remember. One is that he could hit. 284 in the big leagues and 291 overall in the minors, and 199 career home runs. And secondly, a highlight reel catch considered one of the best in baseball history. From the hardwood floor of intramural basketball at Central Washington to playing under the legendary Dean Nicholson, Jim Black's journey to accepting the head girls basketball coaching job at Foss in 1978 has been nothing short of amazing as he led the Falcons to an undefeated league title and his first state appearance in his third year as coach. That was the first of 8 state appearances, including 3 consecutive trips to the state semifinals over the course of the next 16 seasons. The end result was 323 total wins. Impressive indeed. Curtis High School grad Tim Kelly went from playing for the blue-clad Vikes to coaching the black and gold at Lincoln before heading back crosstown to coach at his alma mater. Over the past 12 seasons, Kelly has amassed a career record of 474 wins and 200 losses to go along with 4 state championship rings between Lincoln, Curtis, and as an assistant at Olympia. Kelly has been to the state tournament 17 times in 27 seasons as a coach and has also won 14 Coach of the Year awards. His teams have always relied on fundamentals and defense, and that was on display as the Vikings went on to grab a well-earned 5th place at state this past season. Bob Neal and Jennifer Gray Ryder had 2 things in common: height. Bob was 6'4" and Jennifer was 6'6". Yes, 6'6", and both enjoyed outstanding careers in Bowler Gym on the Cougar campus. Neal, a power forward for the 1970 Bethel Braves AA state champions, was a 2-year starter at Washington State and also excelled as a 7-foot-plus high jumper, placing 5th at the 1972 NCAA championships. Being coached by several Hall of Famers, including Marv Harshman and George Rattling, helped mold his passion for coaching, including a 10-year stint as the UPS Loggers head coach. In 1971, there was no basketball in high school for girls, so Jennifer Ryder honed her craft in a local county city recreational league. Ryder was one of the first true standouts at Washington State, leading the women's team to a 2nd-place finish in the first-ever AIAW championships, a precursor to the NCAA taking over. A bruising force on the board, she dominated on the defensive end, and her 22 rebounds still remains as one of the program's oldest all-time marks. And Jennifer still ranks in the school's top 10 for scoring average and field goal percentage 49 years later. Even with the passage of Title IX in 1972, Jennifer's accomplishments on the court have flown under the radar for far too long. Her Hall of Fame recognition is well-deserved. Mike Karch chose his teammates wisely over the years. Earl Anthony and fellow Tacoma Pierce County Hall of Famers Dave Toole Jr., Bob Hansen, and Bob Bjorky. So it's no surprise that rubbing shoulders with some of Tacoma's top bowlers contributed to his success over the years. Named Rookie of the Year on the Professional Bowlers Tour in 1987, Mike spent 10 years on the tour, earning 1 championship with 6 second-place finishes, and locally he won 11 Masters titles, was a 4-time Player of the Year, twice was named Northwest Senior Bowler of the Year, and was an 8-time South Sound All-Star team member with over 300 games in a career that spans 47 years on the lanes. Just as Karch was knocking down pins on a regular basis, the 1-2 punch of Bobby Pasquale and Emmett Linton Jr. on tonight's boxing card was also pretty darn effective. Although a multi-sport participant growing up, boxing was Bobby's passion, and as a 17-year-old at Wilson High School, he was named Golden Boy for being the best fighter in the Seattle Golden Gloves tournament in 1961. That just happened to be the qualifier for nationals. So off he went and proceeded to win the 156-pound division, the first fighter in Tacoma Pierce County history to be crowned a national AAU champ. A few months later, Pasquale found himself in Miami training under renowned trainer Angelo Dundee and getting in a rare sparring session with Muhammad Ali. After a 29-4 amateur record and 11 pro fights, Bobby retired from the fight game and today uses his determination and passion to beat up on those little white dimpled balls that don't fight or talk back. Emmett Linton Jr. was known for his lightning-fast hands, which gave his opponents fits, so it's no wonder that Laser, as he was called, compiled a glossy 314 and 16 one-loss record as an amateur, winning back-to-back junior Olympic championships. A Stadium High School grad, Linton won 2 world titles and was a Tacoma Golden Gloves champion 4 consecutive years. Ranked the number 1 147-pound amateur in the U.S., Linton had a shot to go for Olympic gold in the 1992 Summer Games in Barcelona, but decided to turn pro, where he finished his career with a 33-6-2 record with 15 KOs. If you see Emmett walking around tonight, guard your desserts, because you never know when those laser-like hands will be working their magic again. On the gridiron, we salute Singor Mobley, who enjoyed a stellar career and was named State Player of the Year in 1991 as the Curtis Vikings won the AAA State Championship. From there, it was off to Washington State, where as a 4-year starter, he helped the Palouse Posse become the top defensive unit during the Mike Price era. Mobley played 3 seasons with the Dallas Cowboys and 9 seasons with the Edmonton Eskimos, where as a linebacker he won 2 Canadian Football League crowns and was considered one of the most prominent defensive players in team history upon retirement.
Still on his feet, looking for one block. He's run a long way already. One-on-one with Thompson, and finally brought down. He's a big play guy for the Eskimos. A couple of interceptions on the season. A fumble return there. 3rd turnover.
One thing for sure, this Hall of Famer will never be mistaken for the Karate Kid. As Steve Curran's work ethic and determination on the football field at Mount Tahoma and martial arts training in the Navy helped propel him to enjoy a successful career as a karate competitor, trainer, and television stuntman, appearing on Walker, Texas Ranger with Chuck Norris. An 11-time World Karate Sports Champion, Steve amassed over 160 national and international championships, including a gold medal at the 1990 Goodwill Games. Known as Mad Dog, he has toned down his competitive theatrics just enough to where he derives as much enjoyment teaching youngsters discipline and martial arts as he did from competing. Smile, everyone, because it's time for Candid Camera with Bruce Larson at the helm. He was so darn good that in 1985, the News-Tribune nominated Bruce for a Pulitzer Prize in photography. A circulation truck driver for the Trib in 1968, Larson started doing some freelance photography for the TNT and was hired full-time in 1973, working with newspaper legends we all remember and miss, like Earl Lubker, Jack Serrault, Stan Farber, Mike Ingraham, Dick Kunkel, and others. Bruce took a special interest in capturing the raw emotion of athletes doing their best in a competitive atmosphere. And as he so aptly put it, I enjoyed creating images of people in our community doing their best at being winners. Perhaps it was the allure of growing up in Tacoma with Mount Rainier in the background that drew these 2 stadium grads to find the joy, challenge, and exhilaration in their chosen sport, skiing in snow, albeit in a considerably different modus operandi. But the two did have some similarities. Gretchen Koenig-Fraser made headlines throughout the world at the 1948 Olympic Games in St. Moritz, Switzerland. She became the first American skier ever to win a gold medal in skiing with her victory in the women's slalom competition and quickly became known as America's Lady of Skiing. Gretchen was inducted into the first class of the TPC Sports Hall of Fame in 1957. Liz Daly's niche was splitboard mountaineering. Splitboards are snowboards that convert into a pair of skis, allowing users to travel into the backcountry as easily as skiers. Using this technique, Daly was the first woman to snowboard some of the most challenging big mountain lines in the Cascades, including on Mount Baker, Mount Shuksan, and Mount Adams, as well as on the Couts Headwall on Mount Rainier. But Liz didn't stop there, excelling in rock and ice climbing as well. This 2003 stadium grad successfully snowboarded mountains in Canada, Italy, and France. Humble almost to a fault, Liz was kind and compassionate, and there were no doubters as to her well-earned reputation as the top female extreme snowboarder.
I've met so many people through the mountains and through snowboarding that I probably wouldn't have met otherwise, whether they're a professional athlete or a scientist or a teacher. I just think it brings so many different types of people together.
A revered figure in the mountains, on September 29, 2014, while snowboarding in front of a camera crew on Argentina's Mount Fitzroy, Daly was killed when an avalanche swept her into a crevasse. Just as Gretchen is remembered with Gretchen's Gold, a ski run at Sun Valley's Sienna Ridge, Liz Daly will also be remembered thanks to the Liz Rocks Foundation, whose mission is to build a climbing wall in Point Defiance Park to commemorate her adventurous life. The foundation is also raising funds to provide scholarships and other opportunities for underrepresented youth to get outdoors and reach new peaks. Trackster Pat Tyson wasn't about to wait around and settle for a tie with anyone, which is why he was usually in or near the lead as an accomplished runner at Lincoln High School under the watchful eye of Coach Dan Watson. A cross-country runner in the fall and a 2-miler on the track in the spring, Tyson's ability progressed as part of the Oregon Ducks' 1971 NCAA National Championship cross-country team. Pat became a household name in his hometown with back-to-back Sound and Arrows wins in the infancy of the Fun Run in 1974 and 1975. Pat parlayed those experiences into a highly successful coaching career with Spokane's Meade Panthers and at Gonzaga University, where he is now coaching another Lincoln grad, James Mwora, a former TAC Athlete of the Year. As for Joel Wingard, winning was in his blood and in his name, and that was a tough combination to beat, which numerous South Sound schools quickly found out. Joel ran track and cross country at the University of Puget Sound and coached at Peninsula High School from 1973 through 79 and Gig Harbor from 1979 through 1998. He then returned to coach the Seahawks cross-country team from 2003 through 2015. To summarize his coaching successes between cross-country and track and field at the two schools, just listen to this: 60 league titles, 48 district titles, 8 state titles, and 4 individual championships, 2 of them won by Patty Lay, who was recognized earlier this evening. Wingard's accolades are numerous, including induction into the Washington State Cross Country Coaches Hall of Fame. Grappling her way into the Hall of Fame is trailblazer Kylie Bishop. Consider that during her high school career, she never lost to a girl. Her 77-0 record included winning the state championship the first time girls were part of the Matt Classic at the Tacoma Dome in 2007 and a repeat winner the following year. As a 4-time letter winner in 3 sports at Washington High School, Kylie capped off her senior year as the Tacoma Athletic Commission's Female Amateur Athlete of the Year in 2008. Now on the staff at her alma mater, to no one's surprise, she is coaching the Patriots girls wrestling team and is an assistant coach on the softball team and is still capturing the eye of the TAC. Appropriately getting the nod on the anchor leg of tonight's Hall of Fame team is Dennis Larson, a stalwart swimmer for Coach Dick Hanula's Wilson Rams and the Tacoma Swim Club. During his high school career from 1968 through 1970, he won 4 individual state swimming championships. The highlight was winning the 400-yard freestyle at state all 3 years and being named a high school All-American in the event. At the University of Washington, Larson again became an All-American, and in 1971, the Tacoma Swim Club 400 and 800 relay teams, of which Larson was a member, set American short course records with teammates Dan Hanula, Bob Music, and Kurt Neifer. This closes another chapter of the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Hall of Fame, and we hope you'll agree that the class of 2019 is a pretty impressive lot. Please join us as we congratulate all of our Hall of Famers on their outstanding careers.